Hello, 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 and welcome to the College of Creation. My name is Dan.
And my name is Michael.
And we are Dungeons & Dragons DMs who love to homebrew items, spells, creatures, and features for D&D. And this is a show where we make brand new homebrew every single episode based on prompts that we get from our listeners, our community. And they just prompt us to make all kinds of stuff. It's a great time. Michael, how are you?
It is a great time. I feel great this week.
Good.
This is a first. We took on a prompt based on a previous episode. That has never happened before, which is very cool. I was talking a little bit before we got on to Mike how much I enjoy the framework that you created for Divine Rites. And tonight, based on a prompt created by myself.
Yes.
During that episode, we are creating more Divine Rites. If you would like to go back and check out the original pitch, Dan's original pitch for Divine Rites, that is episode 44. The original task was to create spell boosts that also had penalties attached to them. And Dan came with 4 Divine Rites, the cleric-specific abilities that are kind of an expansion on and past, beyond spell casting, that include multiple supplicants and a lot of larger world ramifications, more far-reaching than spells, certainly, most spells. I like it. I like these a lot. I had a lot of fun making more of them.
Good. Yeah, I mean, the short version for the listeners here is that these Divine Rites require a cleric to be there to cast and oversee the carrying out of this ritual. I was very much in mind of all the things that we as DMs put into our games that are like the BBEG's cultists or whatever, who are doing their little rites deep inside caverns or whatever. And it's like, well, you could just be casting spells, but no, you're doing something more complex, more time consuming, with more necessary materials, and more people required. So that I was kind of thinking of like, well, what if something like that existed, but for player characters, not something that we mostly just use as set dressing in the world. So these are a framework that requires an amount of time to cast. It requires that the cleric be of a certain level. It requires that the cleric be a follower of a specific domain, and fall under a specific alignment often, and then also has costs associated as well, but gives greater boosts than a typical spell would, or does an entirely different thing than a spell would do. My favorite of them being the Rite of Secrecy, which was the one that was attached to the Knowledge, Trickery, and Twilight domains, that allowed you to, over the course of doing this rite, you swear every supplicant, every participant in the rite to secrecy regarding a chosen event, and they cannot divulge the information of that event. They literally cannot. The rite has bound them so that if they reveal or would reveal that information, they immediately die. And I just thought that was a cool thing to do, and I think that would be great for your players to do or for your bad guys to do. I think that's fun.
After that episode, I was thinking more about that rite specifically, and I thought about like this catch-22 where you're bound by this rite, but also like an NPC, a cultist NPC is bound by that rite, and they run into the party, being interrogated by the party's paladin. The paladin drops Zone of Truth. What happens?
You either just try and say nothing, or you die. Zone of Truth does allow you to say nothing.
Right, yeah.
You can't lie, but you also don't have to speak the truth. But I think, in general, I really enjoy how, especially you, have brought in the previous College of Creation lore into your other creations. But in general, I love bringing in the overall lore that we have created, the other items and the other mechanics that we have created here, and blending those into our future creations, I don't know, it just feels really fun. And yeah, it means that certain things don't necessarily work as well and you can't drop them in as seamlessly to your games. But I think that there's plenty of good workarounds for that.
What do you mean you don't want to use water damage in your games?
It's
this
just
whole
great.
Creation hinges on water damage.
Hey, I'm talking Arcanotech Industries and the Great Pyramid Warlock are just they deserve such wider lore than they even have now.
I know.
So
hey, Arcanotech Industries can be an analog for any tech industry in any game. It doesn't have to be Arcanotech.
Hey,
you
tell
can
us.
Drop that into any futuristic game.
If you decide to involve Arcanotech Industries in your games, please let us know. We would love
let
that.
us know. Please let us know. That'd be wonderful.
Oh,
wonderful.
Man. Yeah, so good. But it was very fun to go back and explore this framework again, find some new ways to do it, and see, do some stress testing with it, right? See how far you can push it in a certain direction. I also decided on my own rule for this time around to make my handful of rites.
I also have one, but please go first. Yeah.
Well, I'll save it for when I actually get into the presentation. But it was good. It was good to have a rule. Okay, let's get into it.
Let's go.
So as we said, these rites are things that a cleric can do once they reach the level requirement, the alignment requirement, and if they are a follower of the specified domain. Most of them have a choice of domains. Each divine rite also has a ritual time and material cost, and if the rite affects supplicants, you can choose a number of creatures up to your cleric level who are present for the entire ritual time. If the rite is interrupted, the effects do not take place, but the material components are also not consumed. So that's the basic framework. I like this as a thing that the party can do on their own, right? If you've got a cleric, you can do some of these. But notably, your cleric can't be of the knowledge domain and also the life domain. So they could get the rite of ascension, but they could never do the rite of creation. Well, that's a shame. You're kind of locking them off from it. But I think this creates a great opportunity for if the party feels the need or is in contact with a cleric who can benefit them in some way and says, hey, get me these components and come along and you will partake and be a part of this ritual that will benefit you. And maybe that's an NPC that you add to your world. Maybe that opens up a micro quest line to acquire a certain aspect or a certain material component for this ritual to have that done. So I think it's just got a lot of great narrative potential. So trying to just go off of that and continue it on, I decided that my rule for this time would be I want to bring in more domains. And specifically, I wanted to bring in some domains that are not exactly official content.
Yeah.
So there are all of these partnered third-party domains and third-party homebrew supplements that have been sort of folded into the semi-official material. They are supported by D&D Beyond and they are promoted by Wizards of the Coast. Things like, Humblewood, Grim Hollow. There's a Cthulhu setting as well that goes along with this. So I looped in a bunch of that stuff for mine and specifically decided that I wanted to make 3 divine rites that were specific to, or at least involved, specific domains that are in those partner contents.
That's wonderful.
That can involve greater things. So
wonderful.
If you will open up your document, you will see more divine rites, now with bonus subclass support. We just go right into it. There's not a lot of preamble with this. We're just getting right into it with the Rite of the Feast, a 4th level rite that takes 8 hours for the domains of the Festus domain, which is based on mythology and the god Festus of the feast, the harvest domain, and I also included the life and peace domain in this as well. You must be a non-evil cleric to carry out this rite. And the material cost includes food and drink to fulfill each supplicant's daily ration requirement, which the rite consumes, and a ceremonial vessel in which the food must be prepared. Each supplicant that partakes in the feast is infused with levity and joy and is sated by its bounty. A supplicant gains immunity to the charmed and frightened conditions and does not need to eat for the next 3 days. The rite can only be performed once every 30 days.
Nice.
This is like a harvest, a lunar ritual sort of thing that's like, at the end of this, we all have a feast. It's a bit simple and would be much more, I feel like, narrative and much more role-play focused, this rite. But that's kind of what these are for. They're good downtime activities. Then we move down to the next highest level rite, the Rite of the Truth. This is a 9th level rite, so we're already jumping up quite a bit in level. This takes 4 hours and requires that you be of the Arcana domain, the Knowledge domain, or the Order domain, or the additional third-party domain, the Inquisition domain, which I believe is also a Grim Hollow inclusion. Mm-hmm. The required alignment here is lawful. And it requires a flask of fine liquor worth at least 50 gold and a magic item of at least uncommon rarity, both of which the rite consumes. So, this rite can do 2 things. It can either reveal or assert truth. The supplicants, combined as one, not each individually, can ask one question of the cosmos regarding a single event in the past and receive a truthful answer. So this would be particularly good for finding out if someone had lied to you, or if someone's description of a specific event was truthful. Any question you can think of, but it has to be something that's taking place in the past. You can't ask anything about the future.
No divination.
But what you can do about the future is you can assert truth. The supplicants can assert one truth regarding a single event in the near future, up to 1 day from the end of this rite, and know it to be true. This assertion cannot alter reality in such a way that it defies other significant truths or undermines events in the past.
This is perfect.
This is a little loose because it would take too many words to make it like really tight.
Yeah.
So again, trust the table, but you can't use this to be like, our main bad guy that we've been chasing is going to be at this place that we're going, if that person wouldn't reasonably be there. If they're on like a different plane of existence from you, and it wouldn't make any sense logically, like if they wouldn't have any reasonable reason to be there, then you can't assert that to be true. But if you want to say the guard outside of the walls of the city will be away from his post.
Yeah.
That's going to be asleep. That's pretty minor.
Yeah.
That doesn't undermine any other significant truth in the world. So there would be, I'm sure, a little bit of haggling at the table with this one. But it's a pretty minor thing, just as a contingency for the future. Finally, we get to the Rite of Horror. This is a 10th level rite, requires 8 hours, and it requires that you be of the Apocalypse or Eldritch domains. I think the Apocalypse being a Cthulhu setting domain, and Eldritch being, I think, also Grim Hollow. This requires an evil alignment, and requires human sacrifices equal to half the CR of the creature summoned by this rite, rounded up. Okay. Now, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So this rite attempts to summon a named aberration from the outer planes.
All right.
So some creature that is an aberration, that falls under the creature type aberration, but is more powerful than just like a common mind flayer, right? Or I guess mind flayers would have names too, but like a common sort of intellect devourer, right? Something a bit more substantial than that. Attempts to summon this being. At least one supplicant must know and chant the name of the creature throughout the rite. If the rite succeeds, the aberration is summoned permanently and is an ally to all the supplicants. This also has an optional additional piece that each creature, including the supplicants, must make a DC 15 sanity saving throw, or a wisdom saving throw if you are not using sanity rules when this creature is summoned. And on a failed saving throw, the creature gains 1 short-term madness. If the saving throw fails by more than 5, the creature gains a long-term madness instead. This is assuming that you're using some version of the sanity rules. But we've discussed it on the show here before as kind of an additional ability score that can be used in the game. But that's not necessary for the rite itself. The piece that I like about this is that at least one supplicant must know and chant the name of the creatures throughout the rite. Doesn't have to be all of them, just has to be one of them. You know, you got one guy chanting the whole time, it'll be fine.
Just one guy. That's
just protect the chanter, that's all you need. So this almost sets up an encounter as well, which is sort of how I designed it. You can very easily see a DM being able to include this really seamlessly as an encounter, as something that an enemy group is trying to do, to summon some devastating being after murdering, who knows how many villagers, and then chanting this unpronounceable name, and you have to stop them, and they're in the final moments of their ritual, and you better get that guy to shut up, that's a good time.
These are my thoughts. I like these so much. I want to start with the Rite of Truth. I think that there is a world in which it would be necessary for this to be a bit tighter if your table relies more heavily on what does the rule say? What am I allowed to do? Especially for like newer players that may be a little bit more tentative.
Yes.
As far as making things up on the fly and just believing what they're saying is true. I think as it's written, this is perfection. This is my favorite of the 3. I think that it's very similar to my book, my tome of future music, the Origami record player, where it gives a lot of power, a lot of narrative and flavor power to the player that's using it, which is really nice. It is very much the type of thing that I like to provide my players with. Like, if you want a fork in the road, a definite this or that, I will give you that, but I would much rather give you the Rite of Truth and let you assert a truth that you want to see happen, right? I want you to have some say, a minor say, right? You're not diverting entire plot lines. You're not changing the fabric of the world with this, but you do have some say tonally in how we move forward. And I have no part in that. Obviously, like you said, a discussion should probably take place during the time of this ritual, where you say, all right, we're starting the ritual for the Rite of Truth. Let's talk our options. Like, what is the threshold that we're not allowed to cross at this point? Like, these are the things that I'm thinking about asserting. Where's the middle ground? Where can we find some agreement? That kind of discussion between the game master and the players is definitely necessary. But a lot of the power here is in the player's hands, and I really, really, really enjoy that.
Yeah, I think that's very fun, and I agree with you that like that ability from the player to like, if they're weighing options, if they're not sure how to proceed, or if they want to be certain that if they proceed a certain direction that like something definitively will support that choice. I think that's a great way to put that agency in the player's hand to do that.
Right.
Or the players at large. Just like your book of future music allows them to kind of set the stage or set the tone for what is going to happen to help guide everyone else and kind of ensure that the next moments will sort of follow in a direction. I think, they do very similar things where it's like putting a little bit of that power in the player's hands, but I think I really don't shy away from that sort of thing. I think there are, there are lots of trepidations and hesitations around that, especially within crunchier games, especially within
Yeah.
places like D&D. And I think there are lots of other games that have really solid mechanics to put the narrative weight in the player's hands and to allow the players to decide what is true about the world. And I think if there's a decent amount of trust at the table, and if you all understand that, like, you're not trying to beat the game, you're not trying to outsmart the game, or like trick someone else, you're trying to like support whatever narrative thrust you are going through, then like everyone will make a good choice if they are given that power. I think more often than not, if there's trust at the table, you're going to find that the choices that people are making are good, and they're not going to throw away your plans or destroy anything.
I agree 100%. My other big thing, I think this optional rule should just be part of it for the Rite of Horror. I think that should just come standard. One of the things, and I think maybe it was a stipulation based on the prompt that we had more than the actual structure that you intended for the rites. But one of the things that I did like about the rites was because they felt like such big magic. That there was a guaranteed risk, right?
True,
There is
yeah.
a guaranteed downside to doing this, especially if you use it in a prolonged fashion. Like if you want to keep using these rituals over and over and over again, sure, go ahead. You're gonna lose a part of yourself physically or mentally or emotionally for the required domains that you have, the required alignment that you have, and especially because of the material cost. Like anything that could be put on like a lines and veils worksheet should come with a cost of some
Yeah,
sort.
that's true. That's true.
I think Madness is it thematically fits so well. And then the Rite of the Feast is just wonderful. It's a bread and butter type thing that just is so useful and really can lead to some cool role play as well, because you can use this as an actual feast, right? It's 8 hours where you can flavor this however you want. Give me 1 second. I have to help put Sunny in his swaddle, and I'll be right back.
Go for it.
Give me 2 minutes.
My dear faithful listeners, while Michael is away taking care of his newborn, I just want to tell you all how grateful I am to have you all listening. It's great. Me and Michael really appreciate you, and we do this for the love of the game. We just like hanging out, but you all, as an audience, give us a really good excuse to keep hanging out. So really appreciate that. And really appreciate all of the prompts and the feedback from everyone. It's been so great to hear that some of the things that we create are actually getting used in people's games. I mean, that's pretty incredible. So thanks so much for that as well.
All right, I'm here.
He is back.
Yes. So, like you, I had a rule of sorts this week, more just a narrative direction.
Okay.
That I was inspired by. It took me a few days to get into just kind of the flow of thinking about these, because they are something new. They don't feel like spells, right? They're much more vast. They can have the potential to do lots of things. So it took me a minute to figure out where I wanted these to originate from. And I wound up thinking more and more about the hero's journey, right? The narrative device, the hero's journey, where you kind of start as a common person. You start in familiar territory, and then you have your call to action, and you find a mentor, and you experience loss, and then you find the thing that you're adventuring for, and you return back home. It's all a cyclical thing. So I use that to format 4 rites today.
Okay.
I would like to make more, I think.
Okay.
Because there is more within the hero's journey that I think fits this style very well. But I started here. This is where I started. So if you'd like to open your document, Dan.
Wonderful.
I call these the Rites of the Monomyth.
Very nice.
And I have 4 of them here. The first of which is a first level rite. Only 1 supplicant available because it is a first level rite. This is the Rite of Commerce. It takes 1 hour. It does not require a domain because you don't have one at first level. And no required alignment. This is very base level. You're just starting out in the church.
Yeah.
And you're trying to help a few people out. The material cost is a day's worth of your single supplicant's pay.
Okay.
During the next business day, your supplicant will benefit from one of the following boons. Their shop or business will make double its typical median profit. Their farm, storehouse, or other production-based vocation will produce double its typical amount of product, or they will be given a random free item while shopping. That's it.
That's nice.
It takes 1 hour. Yeah, really small scale. This is represented by the beginning of the hero's journey, before you are incited to action, right? You're just living in your comfortable, small little world.
Yeah. It's great from the jump, because I already I can already sense where we're starting and where we're going, and what place this has in the game. Have you ever played Octopath Traveler, either 1 or 2?
You bring it up so much, I need to just play it.
It's a game that I have complicated feelings about, because I really like a lot of the things about it, but there's there's also a couple things that I'm I do wish it did this one thing a little bit better, but I don't have to get into it right now. But one of the things that I really do appreciate is that each character has their own narrative story, and you are introduced to their specific story actions and their story mechanics. They have an action that they can do as they explore the world and interact with people that is outside of their combat actions and stuff like that. And so you're introduced to these usually through a very low stakes starting adventure, or starting inciting incident that introduces you to a very low stakes version of them doing the thing that they do. But this feels exactly like that, right? It feels yes, we've introduced our cleric who's just here to help.
Yeah.
And so somebody comes in need, and they can do a little bit to, push some small magic to help.
The second one is called the Rite of Adventure. This is kind of the bread and butter. This is a 4th level rite. This is the representation, kind of the transfer over the threshold between the known and the unknown. So you've had your call to action, you've had the push out of your bubble, and you are now actively engaging in a path forward, right? So this is the Rite of Adventure. It takes 2 hours for its ritual. The required domains I have listed here are Nature, Knowledge, Life, and Tempest. No required alignment again. I think this is kind of universally applicable. The material cost: a call to action written on parchment to be read aloud during the ritual, a finely tuned compass, and 100 gold pieces for each supplicant which the ritual consumes. So it is expensive.
Yeah.
For the next 24 hours, for the next full day, you and all supplicants gain 30 feet of dark vision, or 30 additional feet if you already have it, both a swimming speed and a climbing speed equal to your walking speed, and you can move normally through difficult terrain. Nice. At the end of the duration, supplicants cannot benefit from this rite again for 7 days, for a week.
Little benefit to exploration.
You're enhancing your explorative tendencies.
Yeah, that'd be a great little support thing. I might bring down the cost a little bit for that.
I was thinking,
But
maybe
I
like
think
10. I was thinking maybe 10 to 20 gold pieces for each
yeah,
supplicant.
I think it
But
should have a cost certainly because you don't want this to be
agreed,
something that you can do
agreed.
all the time. But as a benefit for when you really need to like have some good exploration for a solid day, I think that's great. Love it.
Thank you. The next one down, 3 out of 4. This is the Rite of the MacGuffin.
Ooh,
This is an 11th level rite.
nice.
It must be non-good and non-lawful. So any
Okay.
non-good, non-lawful alignment, this is cheating the system. This is
Okay,
skipping ahead of the journey to get where you want faster. Required domains here are Arcana, Knowledge, Trickery, Nature, or Order. I would also, if I am journeying into the partnered areas, I would also include Inquisition and Eldritch
Sure, yeah.
here, because I think those fit. The material cost is a detailed map of your world drawn on parchment worth at least 100 gold pieces, and at least 2 supplicants, one of which loses their eyesight until the effects of this rite elapse.
Ooh.
Choose one object or creature. Once the ritual is complete, you and all supplicants, not the blinded one, cast the Find the Path spell on the chosen object or creature. This does not require concentration, and the spell's typical restriction for a moving target does not apply. The duration of the spell is indefinite, but with each day that passes, an index finger, a pointer finger, is severed from a non-blinded supplicant and cannot be regrown by any means. The rite elapses naturally if no index fingers are left.
Goodness, that's wild.
If you know what you're supposed to be getting, if you know the climax of your hero's journey and you don't want to take the journey, if the journey for you is not the friends you've made along the way and you just want to skip to the end, you can definitely do that. You can have a path directly to your goal, but you're gonna lose some digits, and one guy is gonna be blind the whole time.
Oh man, that's so wild. I mean, that's like getting through the epilogue of Breath of the Wild and then going straight to the castle.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Right.
it's over
Yeah,
there,
straight
but
shot to the
like,
end.
at what cost, man?
Right, but why are you doing that?
No, that's very funny. I think I appreciate this.
I think this could be very funny for the right party.
I think this is hilarious as a like mini campaign, like inciting
Yeah.
incident. Like you just are like, okay, cool. Hey, everybody, you've all come to my estate, which spans acres upon acres upon acres of land. Here's the map of the entire island that I exist upon. You have to find this one thing, and some of you are going to lose some fingers. Ready? Go.
We don't know which ones.
I can't tell you where it is anymore because I'm blind. So, haha.
Right. Oh no.
But the first person to bring it back to me gains money or my inheritance.
Yeah.
I would run that
yeah.
in a heartbeat. Give me a 4-episode miniseries where this is the start, and there's just a weird cleric who's like, I'm giving you something, but you gotta earn it.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
Somewhere along the week, I got too wrapped up in the hero's journey, and I found myself just making like very neutral, like altruistic. We're doing this for the love of the game. We're saving the world because we are heroic, like that type of deal. And I was like, but that's it's kind of ignoring like half of the alignment spectrum,
Yeah.
several domains. There needs to be something that skews evil. So that's what this was born out of, and I'm happy that it's here.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm happy that it came up. The fourth of 4 rites today. This is the Rite of Transference. Okay. This is a 20th level rite. You have to be a 20th level cleric to do this.
dang.
The ritual time is up to 19 hours. Again, I couldn't decide. I feel like this should be open to everyone, so I put no applicable domains or alignment for this one. Maybe that's a cop-out. I don't know. The material cost is a magic item of uncommon rarity or higher that is owned by you, the caster of the ritual, per supplicant, which the ritual consumes.
Okay.
You become the mentor for the next generation of pious adventurers. So this is the completion of the hero's journey. This is the return home after you've experienced all of these things. For each hour spent on this ritual, you lose 1 cleric level.
Whoa.
And give 1 cleric level to a supplicant of your choice. Levels lost in this way cannot be regained, though levels in other classes may. So you are saying, I'm done.
Wow.
I've had my fill. I have completed my task. I was the hero. I made it all the way around. This is Frodo getting on the boat, right?
Yep.
I am imparting my energy. I am giving a piece of my deity to all of you, my trusted supplicants, right? And this, you could have up to 20 people there, up to 19 levels given. You have to leave yourself at least at level 1. You could push 1 supplicant up to level 19, a 19 level cleric. Or you could spread it evenly and have a bunch of commoners inducted immediately into your new church, which you, as a level 1 ultra-wise cleric, now are the archdeacon of, right? You have 19 new first-level clerics that can go out and gain their own experiences. So this is giving pieces of yourself and your journey and your experience to other people at the tail end of your adventuring career.
I love this so much.
Thank you.
And I don't know if it's because of this or in spite of this, but it's not a thing that's going to happen very often.
Very rare.
It's not a thing that there is cause for almost ever. Like, your player characters are rarely going to get all the way to 20th level. And they're also rarely going to interact with a cleric of 20th level. But my goodness, how dope would it be to have that be your cleric's, denouement for the campaign?
Yeah.
Is just to,
it's massive epilogue material,
yeah,
right?
so good. I
I
would be sobbing. My goodness,
Yeah.
it's gorgeous. But also, how wonderful would it be if, upon the eve of some significant moment, a cleric who is very powerful but is passing or is no longer up to the task and can't go along with the party but wants to support can give your full party, you as an NPC, gives each of your players a handful of cleric levels before they go into a major situation.
Yeah.
Wow, that would be crazy. Everybody gets 3 cleric levels. Cool, you're all semi-decent healers now.
Yeah.
Hopefully it synergizes with your existing classes, but you're all part of this now. You've been indoctrinated into whatever larger thing there, and what a cool moment that would be as well.
I think so. Yeah. I think as a player, certainly no mechanical benefit to you at all. Exactly the opposite.
Yeah.
But the narrative ramifications and the narrative benefit. Talk about tying up a story as neat as can be, right?
Oh, yeah.
The tightest boat you've ever seen on the present. That's what any great adventurer wants, right? Is the legacy to live on somehow. And how better to do that than to put a piece of your deity, put a piece of your belief into someone else.
Yeah.
Because essentially, the way that I think about this is these are your levels, right?
Yeah.
So you're giving experiences to that other person. You are transferring the thing that you worked for to them. So now that is a piece of how they operate in their life. It's not I'm going to give you my level, and you just kind of like do whatever you want with it. Like,
Right.
just run the house now. Like, this is an extremely cherished gift. Yeah.
Yeah, it demands that the recipient like take those levels and walk in your footsteps.
Yeah.
I also love that, levels lost in this way cannot be regained as cleric levels, but levels in other classes you can gain, which is also the perfect way for a cleric to say, I've done what I need to do here. Go down to level 1, and then if you're, a long-lived creature or
Yeah.
something like that, you could say, well, maybe we start again. Maybe we start anew, and maybe this time I go away from the cities and I live in the woods and I take on druid levels from now on. How lovely and beautiful would that be? To just allow this person to start their whole hero's journey over again from fresh.
A perfect analog, for religions that don't believe in reincarnation. Like, this is the way to do that at the start of a game, as a 150-year-old dwarf or whatever. Yeah, when I was between the ages of 20 and 40, I was a cleric.
Yeah.
And then I faded away into normalcy, and now I'm back to help the minds once again.
I still have cleric levels.
Battle rager barbarian.
I still have a cleric level, but I've taken all of the rest of it in artificery. I just decided basket weaving was for me. So yeah. That's great. I love it. I love it so much. Huge fan.
Thank you.
How beautiful. Well, what a joy, Michael.
Yeah.
To create more things like this. Great stuff all around this time.
I agree.
And nice to delve back into the deep recesses of College of Creation lore.
Yeah, I agree. I really, really enjoyed making these. Like I said before, I love the framework so much. It's removed enough from spells that it doesn't feel like it's encroaching on anything that spells can do, even though I directly named a spell in one of mine. I realized that. I think any game that I run going forward, if anyone plays a cleric, I'm going to run this by them and say, this is a possibility for you. If you want to pursue this, please take advantage of this feature, because I would really like to see it.
Yeah, definitely. I agree completely. Great stuff. All right, Michael, get out a D20 and I will pull up our big D20 list of homebrew prompts that we get from our listeners. If you have a prompt that you would like to give us for a thing that we can create on this show, please send it to us. You can email us at collegeofcreationpod@gmail.com, or if you want to say hello, if you want to check out the things that we've created, see all the PDFs, download them, use them in your games, and send us ideas for what you'd like for us to create, you can come on over and join us on the Patreon. That's patreon.com/collegeofcreationpod. And if you feel like joining at the paid level, we'd really appreciate that. Helps us keep the lights on over here at College of Creation, and we love you for it. Otherwise, you can get everything for completely free, and we appreciate that just as much. Michael, what are we getting today?
That is a 6, Dan.
A 6 from Corey Bailey Todd. Is just it's less of a prompt and more of a plea. Please change the Blood Hunter.
Okay.
I have not looked at the Blood Hunter in a hot minute. I did have a Blood Hunter player in a game of mine. It was early days of the Blood Hunter. It was the old version of the Order of the Lycanthrope Blood Hunter class.
Yeah.
And it was a little clunky at that point in its evolution.
Yeah.
I think it's still a very multi-ability score dependent class. And that's frustrating.
Yeah. I like the kind of nomadic nature that Matt Mercer set up
Yeah.
with the Blood Hunter, that you're in these orders, right? It's not an innate thing that you get. It's not something that you study.
Yeah.
You have to go through this very specific, rigorous, dangerous, painful trial.
Right.
And for each order, that trial looks a little bit different. The Hunter's Bane is what it's called in the class. And it's a very cool setup. A half martial, half quasi-magic user. It's not a spellcaster, but it has magical, mystical elements.
It's an interesting situation, I think, the Blood Hunter, because it kind of, to me, when I read through it, it really is trying to hit all of the tiers of play, or the pillars of play, because it has some, at least flavor and some mechanical pieces of tracking and understanding, like, strange creatures, fiends and devils, and the kinds of things that a demon hunter might find and hunt in a way that, like, Ranger isn't necessarily flavored in that same way, but covers some of the same bases.
Yeah.
It also has this, like, kind of dark, nasty magic thing that I think is often associated with warlocks. So it kind of crosses over between what I think of as, like, kind of a warlock ranger, but without any magic at all. There is a caster subclass, right?
There's one caster subclass,
which is basically like a martial third caster.
It's a martial third caster based off of the warlock
Right.
casting mechanic.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it
yeah.
uses pact magic
It's so
instead
weird.
of spell casting, which is really strange. It's also notably the only class right now available that allows you to choose your spell casting ability score.
Yeah.
You choose between intelligence and wisdom, which I think is very cool. I really enjoy that because it allows you to build a lot of... There are no two blood hunters that are the same if you want it to be that way. Because you can kit out a strength-based blood hunter. You can kit out a dexterity-based intelligence blood hunter that uses bow and arrow. And your right damage is all kind of based on... long distance. There are a lot of different ways that you can take a blood hunter.
Yeah.
I think the downside is the risk reward. You're always dipping into your health, and that is a hard pill to swallow for a lot of players.
Well, and I think that part of the issue that Corey is pointing out here is there is a frustration when you're playing a blood hunter with having to prioritize too many skills. Because some of the features, most of your features that require saving throws, like your blood curses, are fueled by your intelligence. But because it is a non-caster, you have to focus on martial ability, so you have to focus on strength or dex to make yourself viable in combat as a frontliner, or even as a backliner. But because you're dipping into health so much, you cannot ignore Constitution. Constitution has to be among your highest ability scores. So it's really multi-ability score dependent.
Yeah, you're talking at least 3, because you have either strength or dexterity, Constitution, and either wisdom or intelligence.
And of course, dexterity being a ability score that is more heavily weighted in the system at large because of the number of things that are attached to it. Armor class, initiative, and more skills than strength. It is like you also don't want to burn either strength or dexterity too hard either. Right. So it becomes this thing where, like, you can never really have a great optimal build as a blood hunter with the way that it's currently kitted out. I will have to do some digging and some reading around the features and stuff to kind of recall how it mechanically works, but I might be keen to do something very different than how it is written right now to get around that. But we shall see what I come up with, because this might be a big build here, gang. So I would lock in and strap in for a very beefy episode next time around, because I have a feeling I'm going to have a lot to say.
Yeah, there's so many different ways you can go to quote unquote fix. He said, please change. Please change the Blood Hunter. He didn't necessarily say fix, although that seems to be the inherent interpretation.
We're going to change it and make it worse, Corey.
We're really going to mess it up. We're really going to
follows the prompt. Follows the prompt. We didn't improve it, but we changed it.
I vow to make a vastly unusable class. Just terrible.
I love it. Well, I can't wait to see what we both come up with. It'll be interesting to address something that exists in the game itself, and see how we can homebrew ourselves around it and into something maybe better or at least different.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be a good one.
Well, Michael, thanks for creating. Thanks for potting.
Of course.
Thanks, everyone, for listening. Michael, do you have anything to say to the people before we say goodbye?
In fact, I do. This is directly linked to my 20th level Rite. No mechanical benefit to the player, all narrative, right? The thing that I want to say, because I've found myself in this position too many times, and I tell myself every time I try and set up a big emotional beat in a story to not get into this problem. If you can, avoid getting your hopes up about anything you want to happen actually happening. And on the flip side of that, if something emotional does happen, if your table finds themselves in a very heavy moment, grab onto that. If everybody is ready, right? If you look around your table or you look at all the boxes on your screen, if you play virtually, and everybody is in and everybody's ready, don't try and change that to try and fit what you wanted the story to be as a game master, right? You need to ride the wave. So just go along with it. It will be better every single time than what you thought you wanted to write in. Guaranteed. Story beats that happen organically are better every time without fail than something that just the GM writes. I am convinced. And I don't know if that's a take or not, but in my experience, everything that I've tried to manufacture has, at best, fallen flat and been like, oh, that's fine.
It might be a hot take, but I support it, Michael. I agree with you. It's one of the things that I love about this game is that when you get a bunch of people together to write together, it's going to be better. And then when you leave certain aspects of it to chance, you end up finding that like those unpredictabilities are what make the story the best.
Yeah, I've just found if something is really like chugging along naturally and all the people are invested at your table, the moment you try and inject something that wasn't part of that organic buildup, it's going to seem false. It's going to feel out of place. It's going to feel like it doesn't fit quite right, and that's because it does. It doesn't fit quite right. Just let it ride, baby. Just let it go.
Let it ride.
I think all of your players will be very appreciative that you did.
Couldn't agree more. I think that's great advice. Let it ride. Lean into the narrative. We love it. We love it so much. Well, thanks so much, Michael.
Thank you.
And thank you, listeners, for being here. Until next time, we will be creating and fixing up the Blood Hunter for you. Until then, goodbye.
Goodbye.